came up with this model of integrative medicine in order to prevent what happened in chiropractic, which was straights versus mixers, and the big fight. It's like a civil war in a profession or whatever. And what I wanted to do was explain to people the scope and breadth, not even within naturopathic medicine, but a health model that would fit going into the forward into the future, but also from the present. So originally what I came up with was that most people and our medical system still thinks of health versus disease. So there's this war on disease, or over here you're healthy. But I realized that there's actually a whole area in between. Well, this would be chronic disease or dysfunction. And I reasoned out that all the things we do basically fall into 4 areas. The people that are doing nutritional therapies and things and stuff usually has to do with deficiency, something missing in the system, so vitamins, minerals, foods. Over here is also bonding, physical closeness, emotional openness, which mammals have. This was the chiropractic zone or structure, which we know through osteopathy, chiropractic, cranial therapy, that if you're injured, parts aren't fitting together and working, you can get into trouble. One of the things that was missing that naturopathic medicine provided was the whole idea of drainage therapies and toxicity issues, which really came, I think, from Europe. And then there was the mental, emotional, psychological components. So I call this your operating system and programs. And what happens is, usually people don't just have one of these. So the thing is, how do we put this together? Well, it's like a puzzle. So we have to find what are the puzzle pieces and what's the order in which we need to treat, so that over here, what you see is levels of energy that are integrated for a healthy person. So as we described, the energy goes out, it sets up and it runs. So this is integrated flow of energy. Disintegration starts when there's conflict in the programming, when there's injuries that disrupt the system. Toxicity can build up, and that often leads to deficiencies. So you end up over here with a disease pathology, and this is where medicine treats. The problem is they think that if they treat you here with hospital care, botanical surgery, that automatically you move here. And the problem is, if there's an interference at any one of these levels, you cannot get back here. So the second part of this is I assumed that increasing energy and regeneration, we would move here and move to higher levels of healing, until we studied anti-aging medicine. And then anti-aging medicine, what they pointed out was, after a certain point in your life, every 10 years, your mitochondria is slowing down, shutting down. So now I reason that this is between 35 to 40, and 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90. So what they told us was that human warranty is up somewhere between 80 and 90, 85-ish. And if you live past warranty, it's all bonus. The problem is, you don't want your energy levels down here crawling along to the finish line. So when people are 35, 40 over, they must make changes. It's a given. Their hormones are changing, their lifestyle must change, etc. Our goal is then not to get them to be 20 years old, but to try to move them 5 to 10 years up the scale, so that by the time you get here, you're still in pretty good function. And most people would say, when I go, I want to die peacefully in my sleep. That would make them happy. They don't want to suffer and degenerate and lose their brain function and have misery and pain for the 10, 15, 20 years going forward. And I think that's reality. Given our training and the principles of naturopathic medicine, we're obligated to, when a patient comes in, we want to take history. We want to know what are the things that have happened in your life that would be potentially causing a problem of toxicity. Have you been around agricultural sprays and things? What was your nutrition like? What injuries, how many concussions and car accidents, and what traumatic emotional events have influenced you? So all of that is background, but then we need to see where are you at right now, and to do that we use testing methods, usually the autonomic testing. We can challenge for nutrients and deficiencies. We look at your diet. We can do lab tests and things like that to see, blood tests. We can easily check the functioning of the structures of your neck, your back, your shoulders, your knees, all of that thing, using the testing methods, autonomic. Toxicity is things like viruses, chemicals, things from outside, but also your own waste products coming back. And this is your mental and emotional system, where what we find, one of the most common things is the big brain and the belly brain, like two levels of government, federal, provincial, are fighting with one another, and they have different agendas of what's needed. And one of the things is synchronizing them so they're working together towards the common goal. But they often get disrupted because a virus will go in and create a confusion, or a chemical will disrupt the brain function, and then we have to not only remove the chemical, or maybe it's gone, but now we have to reset the pathways. So I tell the patient, your neurotransmitters are like text messages. They're going from the big brain to the belly brain and back. And if they get scrambled, you get a very confusing set of signals. And with our methodology, using the European methods, South American methods, North American methods, the ancient things like the Ayurvedic or the acupuncture methods, I take all of that and we synthesize it into modern understanding of neurophysiology and proper functioning. And so we test, and wherever there's blockages, we can not only find the problem, we now have to find the correction that the body wants. And we might go through, I have test kits, and I may go through 10 or 15 different potential solutions, and none of them make any difference to the system, so we don't use those. We go and we try to find what's the exact formulation of things, so we may end up with some drainage remedies, some nutrition, some structural correction, a reset of your control systems, and then the system all of a sudden starts doing what it's supposed to do. And we have people that within a matter, usually the cycles are 2 weeks, and 2 weeks of treatment, and then usually within about 2 to 3 of those cycles, so 4 to 6 weeks, we want to see a movement back towards the health. 50% or better improvement is the goal.